I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. The meeting is called to order. Call to the community. This is the time for citizens who would like to address the commission on any non-agenda item. Action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to asking staff to review the matter, asking that the matter be put on a future agenda, or responding to criticism. We don't have anything, do we?
No request to speak.
Okay. Staff report. Community and Recreation Services Monthly Report. Presenter Tricia Kramer.
Thank you, Chairman Taddy and Commissioners. The Community Rec Services Report is in your packets. I'll just go over a couple of items quickly. The rec center facility, I don't know if any of you have had a chance to get over there in the last week or so, but everything is reopened. The tennis and pickleball courts project was completed on the 4th. And the overlay, Pat and I think, we're real pleased with it. It's nothing obnoxious. The tennis courts are still our primary. And now we've got 4 pickleball courts that are available for people to play for drop-in, or if we set something up in the future. And Pat is working on ordering 3 additional portable nets. So we'll have those fairly soon, so they'll be ready for everybody. But right now we do have that one net that's still there, and we're hoping that people will come check it out and use it and give us their feedback on that. But we're looking forward to the multiple courts of open play. Simultaneously, we redid the pool deck and we drained the pool and had some new drains installed in the deep end and fixed a set of the deep end steps. So that's all done as of May 4th as well. Looks real good. Our thanks to Public Grounds and our new facilities manager, Chris, who will probably join us next month. It was not easy to drain the pool. It had been quite a while. And so we figured out what areas worked and didn't in terms of draining. And so it was a fun time, but we got it done and still on time because our goal was to make that happen before the 8th, and that was done. So we're looking forward to a nice fresh facility and people enjoying it this coming summer months. Aquatics, our lifeguards are pretty much all in place now and running through their trainings and started their shadow shifts, which is one lifeguard with experience training a new person on their tasks. So they're moving along nicely. Pool will be open to the public as usual that Saturday before Memorial Day. We'll have a movie night that night, which I think is Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Yeah. So free movie for everybody on opening day of the season. And we're excited for all the activity. The Legardo swim team has started this week and kids are out there enjoying the pool and swimming. And so that breath of activity and fresh life in the pool is back. So we're happy about that. Community services, for those that don't know, we had 14 nonprofits apply for funding from the city this year. Couple of new ones. So council will be determining, they have already determined what they would like to disperse to them. At the May meeting, they will decide whether that's a go or not. Individually, they gave their recommendations. So staff provided theirs and they'll announce those at the May meeting. Lots of great organizations that do a lot for members of our community and the West Valley in general. Memorial Day ceremony is coming up on Monday, May 25th at 7 a.m. hopefully those of you that are in town that weekend will come out for the ceremony. Mayor will be emceeing as usual, and Bill and Sandy Simon, residents, which I think most of you know them, will be our keynote speakers. Should be a nice remembrance ceremony. Preschool is still in the registering for next year and for summer camp phase, and also working towards graduation for their little ones. They're having a graduation party on the 20th, so they're about done with the school year and looking forward to the next one. And in terms of events, we're just at that planning stage, planning for Memorial Day and for Sparkle in the Square, which is on July 3rd again this year. July 3rd is a Friday. And we're looking forward to putting that on and having the fireworks again, expanding it a little bit this year for America 250. So there'll be a DJ, photo opportunities, pie eating contest, water balloon toss, food trucks, all the good fun stuff. So we're looking forward to a good time, and of course, 25 minutes of fireworks to celebrate the 250th. So have a nice long fireworks show. So, and with that, I'll turn it over to Pat to give you some updates on sports.
Thank you, Tricia. So our spring season just ended this past weekend. Everyone overall, I think it was a successful season, and kids and coaches and families seem to have fun while out there. So we got lucky this year. Last weekend was probably when it finally hit the over 100. So we were excited to be like, okay, it's only one weekend instead of multiple. So now we're just getting ready for our summer clinics. We do week-long skill clinics for t-ball, flag football, and then we do our own clinic for soccer in July for the younger age groups, just to get them out there to learn the skills, to kind of give them a jump start to leading into the seasons and getting kind of an idea of what skills to work on. And Challenger Summer Soccer Camp is coming back again in June. June 1st is their week-long camp. They currently have 24 kids registered there, so we're going to hopefully see that number rise here in about 3 weeks away from the start of that. And then the only really other thing we have is our Coach Pitch registration starts June 1st too. So we're about 3 weeks away for Coach Pitch to start registration. So one season ends and then the next one already starts. So we're excited. We're excited for this past year and just looking forward to the future. So.
That's all we got, unless you have any questions for us.
Thank you, guys. Are there any questions?
One quick question, for the Sparkle in the Square, is the overall layout gonna be about the same, fireworks to the north? And
Yes, fireworks will be shot from Scout Park. So people will face north watching that. The general layout will be the same, just a little more activities included. And 6 to 9 p.m.
That's good.
Are there any other questions? Thank you, guys. Next is Public Grounds Monthly Report. Presenter Kevin Hamilton. Now, Mr. Hamilton, this is your first meeting with us. Do you want to just introduce yourself on camera and before you begin to speak?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Kevin Hamilton. I'm the Public Grounds Superintendent. This is my 5th week now here, my first meeting here. I'll be presenting tonight a new playground option for one of our parks, and hopefully some bigger and better projects coming forth in the future. Tonight I have a few items that we're currently working on and looking to make some progress on, just some updates on some projects that you guys may have gotten an update the last time you met from Troy. I don't know if that's something that's been addressed. Troy is now no longer here, so this project today will be my first to hope to complete that I inherited. So to go forth with an update in some of our current happenings, we've got a lot of the P's going on. We've got planting, painting, and pruning. So right now we have all of our date palms are fruiting. They were early with the heat, so you may see the crews out through town. They've already begun the pruning process through town. Should take them about 2 weeks to complete all of our date palms. For painting, you may have seen some of the parks like Aleppo, some of the areas along Villanueva near Dysart, where they've been patching and repairing stucco. We've also been doing some brick painting, some Ramada iron painting, that kind of stuff, in a larger citywide project. So the crews are going through and finishing that as of now. They'll be complete with that project by the end of next month. So that's our painting project. As far as our planting project, we did just finish the first phase of what I'm hoping to continue in a multi-phase process through the east side of town, what we're calling on the east side of Litchfield. So if you do go down, it's Park Avenue, still getting them all in. If you go down Park and you come around Aleppo and through Village and some of those areas, you may see some of the newer, mostly shrubs, but I believe there were a few trees as well in an earlier phase. So that project actually was just completed on last Friday. So we'll look to identify some new areas moving into the west side of town, some areas that we've lost vegetation that we just want to resupplement as a capital improvement. As far as mentioned pruning, so for planning, we did have our annual planning meeting with our tree vendor, West Coast Arbor. One thing that we were able to get out of our planning meeting was that our tree inventory is now added to our GIS system, something that we're using in our planning. It's a really awesome and useful tool. It was something that came at no cost. It was something that we already had. It was just a matter of transferring some files over into a database. So that was really cool. One thing just to give a glimpse into what we'd like to do with this information next. If you look at other municipalities like the city of Tempe, they have a urban forestry page that gives you information on the tree canopy index, or the shade canopy index, excuse me. And this is something that with information that we already have, because our inventory is done so regularly by the crew that works on it, we could put out to the public and give them information on the trees that they pass every day, on how much water they use, how much water they save, the shade, the heat, every benefit that it has, all the way down to the actual value of that tree, and even the cost to replace it. So it's a really cool tool. It was something that we touched the tip on in our planning meeting, and we've now begun to roll it up through our management team to see what we can do to introduce that to the public with these. The last little tidbits, with our painting, we realized we needed to repaint our Ramadas because we were sticking papers to them, taping them, and the sun's not kind to that. So we did, we got some placard signs to get us by in the meantime, but something that'll eliminate us from hopefully having to paint the Ramadas due to anything other than sun fade. The last project that I do have, there is a stretch of sidewalk along the right of way, along Old Litchfield Road. It's right out in front of the church at Litchfield Park. That curb cut in that I believe you guys have completed a year or two ago, that sidewalk there is actually not technically ours. So if at any point the church decided, God forbid, they wanted to close it down, we'd have no access for the pedestrians. So we actually did some work in, I'm not saying negotiations, but we went through the terms with the church on what it would take for us to acquire that right of way back. So pending a few quotes and us connecting the water to it to take on the turf and the palm trees that are right there, we'll have an update on us acquiring that road, but that's what we're looking to move forward on. Those, I believe, are all of our updates for the public grounds, at least for the media.
Thank you for that. Are there any questions?
Couple quick questions.
Sure.
You mentioned the palm tree trimming. Is that, did you say it'll take 2 weeks to do all the trees, or is that just a subset of the palm trees?
Subset. Yeah,
Oh.
it's just gonna be the date palms.
Oh, days. palm.
Yeah, but luckily because of the season, the timing that everything's going, it looks like we'll be able to jump it into the Mexican fans, and then the rest of our palms all
Okay.
kind of subsequent. Yeah.
I knew that takes a while, so I was wondering, like 2 weeks seemed fast.
No, yeah, and I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe you guys have somewhere around 1,100 different palms
Right,
here in
yeah.
the city. So yeah, it's quite a feat.
Second question, I saw there was some work at Turtle Park over the last week or something.
Yes.
What was going on? Turtle?
Yeah, so I'll answer that one hopefully
Oh.
properly for the facilities manager, Chris. It sounds like prior to us coming in, there were some regular clogging or plumbing issues at that restroom. It looks like the bid options that we got from a contractor to eliminate this as a future problem, because the monthly occurrence that we had tallied ended up being less than what we spent to fix the repair, hopefully permanently. So we had a few options that were presented to us in a quote. They were presented and ran through the engineer. Once we figured out where the utilities were, our cheapest and best option was to run a new line from the bathroom out to the street. And we tapped into where it was available from Liberty. We did this with the efforts to try and preserve and conserve the trees. But with what the options were there, we had to go through the root zone of the trees. So we're going to watch to see them recover. Hopefully the turf is going to be recovering here shortly. And yeah, as of now, the bathroom works 100%. We haven't had any issues. And any upcoming, vandalism, toilets, whatever, anything the kids try to throw at us will be okay. To not have to reinvest to that.
Christoph has.
Christoph, pardon me, Commissioner Gertz, do you have a
No.
question?
Christoph is fine, thank you. You can tell me, we'll talk about it later and I'll wait. I think Scout Park, Gophers, is that something you want to talk about now, or are we gonna talk about it and then opportunities for improvement?
We'll touch upon it in the opportunities section. So
One more section.
hold tight 1 second.
One more section, all right.
So is it for this section?
It is for this section.
Take it away, Commissioner.
About way before your time, probably like a year ago, we had talked about looking into putting more amenities at some of the ramadas, like picnic tables, or like I saw you guys were painting at Rose Park.
Yeah.
Which is one that we specifically mentioned, where there's those two big ramadas. Nothing.
There's like a splash pad. I saw there's a splash pad there.
Is
Well,
there?
there was a splash pad. Let me. So I saw similar things that you were mentioning. There's a lack of amenities, like to draw to that specific park.
Yeah.
And there is an area with the rubber playground material, and it has just a fountain, I believe. But I got the backstory. This is, from somebody telephone, but it sounds like the original development of the village there, when they built that first phase, had built it with that, but maybe pre the park and everything else, because it sounds like before the park was developed, it wasn't operating. And then once the park was fully operating, they went to turn it on and the splash pad was no longer operating, or maybe never did. So I never got a clear indication on if it was ever something that was functional. My guys have confirmed that they do know where the water is connected to it. If we ever did want to ever try to maybe explore that avenue, but that was an amenity idea that I had first just walking through the parks for sure.
I've been to that park a lot and I've never seen what that is.
Yeah, it's on the east end, almost coming as you're gonna
Where
hit
there's
the
that
roundabout.
like sort of the steps.
The
there.
amphitheater, yep,
Yeah.
at the east end of the amphitheater, once you go behind the stage, yeah.
All right. But yeah, I think
So
that'd
we've
be
had
like a
splash
great
pad the whole
opportunity. to
time.
have. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's one I've looked to bring up. I've been tasked with a few things already as I've been here, but that was one thing that I wanted to question: just why, what is it possible? Even get a price for, just a fountain to be shooting up and make it safe. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, I can definitely make some progress and at least nothing ask the questions on the history and why or why can't we do anything with it.
I mean, I think definitely that park, because it's now like sort of in the center of the town with the new city center development.
Coming with the library and the new roundabouts, kind of, yeah, everyone's gonna love to tour those. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's between that and the square. It's like, which one? But that's the middle, yeah.
So I think the ask was and is, can we look into the possibility of adding some amenities to Rose Park, at least to start? So that there's more
Yeah, I guess.
sitting options.
So I got there early, around a wild idea, but what were some of the amenities that you had in mind as well?
anything. I mean, it really is a blank slate. But there's not seating at all. I mean, like if someone, there's not, most of Vermont is gonna have a picnic table or something out there. No
Well,
picnic table, no
Isn't there
bench.
a road garden?
There's,
The middle, yeah,
there's-
I can't remember, is there seating
I don't even
there?
know if
it's like
bench.
walls. They're
Okay,
like
half walls or
Yeah.
fully walled. Commissioner Gertz? You're muted, Commissioner Gertz.
I am muted, thank you. I do this all day, so you think I would get that right. Since we're talking about projects, I want to check, are we revisiting Scout? I'm not talking about Gophers. Are we visiting Scout Park and amenities and fields and such at another time? Or is that, it's not
Yes,
separately?
that is not on tonight's agenda. We're trying to break Kevin in gently.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
But
I can tell you that the city manager did have his car hit over the weekend, and he is very extremely motivated into the Scout Lodge project, which is more the additional parking project for Scout. So those two projects were ones that we did at least have in discussion this week about Scout, but we're very premature, very looking to make progress on those right
Yeah, and you've probably been caught up on this. We discussed last time, instead of doing piecemeal changes to parks, looking at them holistically again, especially Scout with Scout Lodge, and saying, how does this work? What does this look like 5-10 years from now, instead of what do we want to do this year?
Not a Band-Aid fix, an
All right.
entire CIP, yeah.
I just had a really quick question. Could you say again what was happening with, it sounded like there's a piece of property in front of the Church of Litchfield Park that the city is buying, is that
Sorry,
correct?
no, we're not gonna buy it.
Oh.
No, we're just looking to see what it would take to acquire it. And in the negotiations, that's not something that we've talked about. And more so, I think it's just been a collection of information right now, collecting prices on what it would take to even make it ours, you know, in terms of getting the water meter and all of that connected. The future ongoing maintenance costs with the water and the pruning and the turf and all that. So, yeah, it's not anything that I know of at my level that's talked about as in a purchase fashion. But I do know that Matthew is working with Ken. Oh, he gave me his card. Darn it. Oh, I'm upside down. That's why it is. Ken Martin. And so Ken is the church's representative. They've obviously recognized that they don't want to, you know, hold that property from us because of the easement, but because of also, it looks like they may have future plans to change their landscape, and what we would like to maintain on the right of way would be different than what they're going to look to hopefully change in the front of the church. So there was a lot of pieces to it. We just had our first meeting. It's very premature. We just had our first meeting this last week. Like I said, we're all collecting numbers right now to bring to the table for the next time we meet in terms of cost, and what anyone would be willing to give up or not give up, on that, just for the sidewalk.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
One more, maybe quick one. So can you just quickly explain your role versus, was it Chris, the other? I don't think we've really, this is new to us to have different.
I can give you guys
roles.
a quick overview of the restructuring.
Yeah.
I did have that as more of a talking point in maybe what would be our next meeting. We are in the stages of a restructure. What started out with Troy, as you guys have met, Troy was an interim in a contracted position. So we knew that Troy would only be with us for a short period of time. Troy's task was to figure out what was wrong and some things that would fix it here in terms of the public works and the grounds and the connectivity of everybody. What he had identified was reorganizing the structure, and that's where he brought myself and what is a facility superintendent. Essentially, it's the same position. He brought us in to start to divide some of the tasks that the public grounds teams had. So you may have heard we're talking and calling ourselves the public grounds team. It's a part of the rebranding that we're starting to hope to push forward in terms of the separation that we have. So there's the public grounds, myself, who will be overseeing the grounds team, the crew of 23. We'll be holding on and doing a lot of the same responsibilities that we have been in the interim, especially while we continue to structure this reorganization. But we're not completed there yet. So I mentioned that I'm here and I'm going to keep things going and running as usual while we figure it out. Chris has just been brought in to manage anything facility related. So that's going to start to be anything in here, a lot of the amenities at the parks, the city hall building, the new library, that kind of stuff, as well as any kind of custodial items maybe that come along with that. So Chris is set to manage that. The planning part that we're coming to is Chris is the first without a budget. So I'm the first of my position. Chris is the first of his position, but he does not have there on July 1 will be his first day with his budget and his ability to start forecasting and seeing what his team likes. So there is the third part of this reorganization. Sorry to keep talking on long. It's the streets superintendent. So they are looking to add the 3 superintendents to divide some of the responsibilities that have been left in just the grounds team and start to break it up so that the grounds team is able to focus more on their scope of work and what they're hired for, which is the parks and the landscape. And then that way that we have experts that are more focused on the things that need an expert attention. So the street superintendent will come with a technician. The street superintendent will take care of all the pavement items, any painting, any signage, any type of that work out in the right way. So we're looking to really increase the level of service. And we're doing it by adding experts into their areas, fields of expertise, keeping them there, and then keeping the guys in a more narrowed scope of work so that there's less reaction and there's a little more proactive maintenance going on that we can schedule and program. And I think that's the majority of it, but we just had a meeting, my Paige and I, the assistant manager today. So it's very much happening. This is the first phase. This is myself, and then I believe we're going to have Chris. He'll be here in the next meeting to introduce himself and have a talking point as well.
And thank you for that.
Yeah.
I think we're about ready to move on, right? Opportunities for improvement. Presenter Tricia Kramer.
Thank you, Chairman Teddy and Commissioners. We're actually gonna keep making Kevin work here tonight. Most of those opportunities, I think that have been presented over the last month or so are falling under public grounds. And I know that Kevin has a couple of updates for some of the asks that commissioners have made. So probably we might be nice and start with the gopher issue for Commissioner Hurd.
Sure. I can see chomping at the bit over there. The Gophers, and in getting a good opportunity and speaking with some of the residents, it seems like as soon as we've been able to push them out, they just hide in the neighbors' yards and come back. So I do have a meeting actually tomorrow. I'm meeting with one of what I'm going to hope is several different contractors. We were treating gophers on a monthly basis, and it was just at a select location. I'm going to look tomorrow to get some bids at treating all of the parks and on an annual basis. So that contract or that PO that we had for that service had just expired here at the end of April. So yeah, I'm meeting tomorrow with another contractor, and we're going to view to see what it would cost to do all the parks annually for gophers specifically. You know, we have already treatments for all of our other pests. But yeah, you guys have a significant gopher problem. It seems like the treatment that you guys had going was effective in killing. But it just seems like once you eliminate them in one area, they kind of have shifted to the next. So it's an ongoing problem. That's the best update I have for that. Scout was one of the parks that I did notice we have them. We're planning on this. Do you want me to run through
I think
all?
he's might have a question.
Commissioner Gertz.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate that we're going to address that. It's been, and I appreciate having your focus on it. It has been an issue that's been lagging a bit, and unfortunately something that, because we didn't nip it in the bud early, I don't know if you saw the videos that I'd sent, there's extensive damage. And I suppose I'm interested in one, like how we're gonna deal with the population, which is, as you alluded to, a never-ending battle, right? We're not going to eliminate gophers from Arizona or the West Valley or Litchfield Park for that matter. But there were some ideas that we discussed in the past. In addition to traditional, I'm actively trying to seek the gophers out, whether that be traps or gas or poison or something else, of taking an approach that some of the golf courses have taken, which is creating nesting sites for owls or falcons to have natural predators that, if they don't need to respect boundaries of properties, owls fly where they like, right? That might be one way to start to, once we get the population under control, to keep it under control. Is I guess question one, and question two is the damage on the northeast side of Scout Park at this point is rather extensive. And my concern is that the holes that don't even have mounds around them. If you saw the pictures, there's one with my hand in a hole, and it just looks like my hand's disappearing into the turf. That's where people fall and hurt themselves. And I had to help a gentleman back to his car 2 weeks ago who had severely sprained his ankle on one of those. So I'm also interested in understanding how, once we get the population under control, how we're going to remediate the damage that's been done since this issue was raised in December.
Sure. No, those are great questions and points. The population control, I fear, will never get under control with all of the golf course real estate so close. But it raises a good question for me to ask: is what are the golf course efforts for them currently? Because I am new to that, and I imagine they're having that same exact problem. So I can at least look over the other side of the fence and ask that question and make sure that people proactively working together, because yeah, we do need to somewhat get it under control, at least to mitigate it. I like your idea, especially with the natural habitats. It reminds me of something that we were looking at doing in the lake. And I don't know how it'll be received with the public, but I'm very, very just green to that. I'm not even sure, what birds are we already looking to attract. So you've asked a couple of questions that I'd like to try and do some research on. As far as the damage, you're talking mostly, it sounds like, just about turf repair damage, correct? Like out in open turf holes?
Yeah, I mean, aesthetics are one thing. I'm more concerned about injury.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially my priority too with that would be the playing surfaces. Anywhere, that we're going to try to program and have kids out and doing sports, 100% is top priority. One thing with the turf, it seems that we've had a lack of an agricultural plan with it here in the past few years. So I did have a contractor out this week. I'm looking at getting a quote on having the turf in some of these playable areas treated with. We're looking to get a lot of the condition of the turf changed, and more so the health, because the weeds have killed it, the gophers have killed it, the water raining down have killed it. We transitioned back and forth from the rye and the Bermuda in a lot of the areas, and so it hasn't been replenished with a lot of nutrients. So I have a contractor or two contractors putting together just a quick ag plan for us to get the fields hole punched and verticut, get them treated for the weeds. That's a big one. And then fertilize so that we can get some good and positive growth in the grass. And with that, we've been having to cruise out and auditing the system. So you may have seen a little bit of extra water. We did have a few parks that had mainline breaks the last week. Their water's all back and up and running. But the crews are out currently. They're doing their audits. They're doing their adjustments. They're trying to figure out our problem areas so that when our budget hits, we're able to put some money towards those.
Great, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sand and buckets for filling the holes.
Yeah, and if you want someone to flag holes, spray the ground, just let us know, but let me know specifically. I'm happy to spend time doing it.
Okay, awesome.
Maybe we need to add that day to tree painting day.
Yeah.
Have another one. Go for hole filling day.
I actually saw a school district that did that. They did a community gopher hole filling day.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions?
Was there other items on your list or was?
I don't know, was there? I can run through if you like, or if you guys, I did have, status on the drinking fountains, was one that I have on here. We have identified where the source of the water comes from. Unfortunately, we cannot figure out where the source of that water comes from. So, there is a backflow just as we go out here. And it's right up in this planter box. And that is the water that goes into the drinking fountain. So a couple weeks ago, I noticed there's full of water and I was like, well, hey, let's shut this off. Let's get this repaired. So the backflow was leaking. Well, once we shut that off, that's when we figured out, I think, was the water for the drinking fountain. So we've been in communication with Liberty and trying to identify the source of this backflow to get shut off so that we can repair it. We haven't had the luck with Liberty yet. They've given us a story, something about it's an old well that should have been capped and got missed, and I don't know about that, but we did have a plumber out this week for the backflow and he looked at it and offered to repair it as well. So we're looking to get that repaired here, if not by the end of this week, then early next week. So
You're talking about the ones at the tennis courts here or which drinking fountain?
that's the ones I have here, yeah,
Yeah.
on my list. The blowers at the schools. So I don't know, the guys just changed shifts last week. I don't know if that's just why they're blowing at that time. It just fit into their old routine from the winter. But that's an easy one. I've already even addressed them with the crew leads to address in the morning. They won't be doing any power or hand tools out in those areas I have on here, I have 650 for the guys and 740. Is that
The drop off is like, I would say that's like, they usually start dropping off like 7 and I think school starts at 7:15.
So if they're
So-
done at 6:45.
Yep.
Awesome. So yeah, I've already addressed that with them, and I didn't realize that was happening. So that's an easy fix. We'll be able to make that one happen. Yeah, and that's it. We fixed the coyote hole at La Loma. That may or may not have been a coyote hole. Those were the only items that I had.
So I shared that picture with a couple. Thank you for fixing that.
Yeah.
Holy Moses. So I guess the only follow-up question is, how would you know from looking at it if it was still active? Would it just be a hole again, like a week from now, or?
Well, now that it's on our radar, yeah. I wasn't sure looking at it. I had first thought, could it have been like some water blowout underneath that kind of dried and left that concave looking den? But it kind of looked worn or used. And then I thought, all right, well, maybe there's some neighborhood cats, but that is, it could have been a lot of things, but I would say exactly like you said is we'll know in a few weeks' time if it's, because I would imagine, and right after you reported that, I did see a coyote just sitting in the middle of the baseball field over at
Just hanging out, right? Like they don't, like.
Like it's a dog, yeah.
I had to look a few times. It's like, oh, that is a coyote. So
Mhm.
just the same, I'd imagine there is a coyote that travels that path and found a den, but yeah, no longer is a den. So my guys go through either.
I'm pretty close to that, and I saw a coyote carrying a cat in that direction. So I'm guessing Den is,
It was a
Right.
coyote and a
That's
cat.
yeah, they weren't friends.
Awesome.
So we'll have to keep our eyes on that and keep referring to you whenever we are alerted and.
Yeah, I've started to explore the avenues of animal control, and it sounds like you guys don't have one here, but so I'll be looking to lean on Avondale's at animal control, or I know Maricopa, they can send people out as well. So we're at least getting somewhat of a game plan together if we do have an outbreak of coyotes. But I swear, even the coyotes could almost fix our gopher problem. We're missing opportunities.
Well,
There's
Yeah.
there's too many rabbits for them to be interested in the work required to get built.
Yeah.
There it is.
We've always had coyotes a lot. I mean, we have the golf course, they come out. There's more now. Is that what I heard?
so there was when we were looking at the different, there was a huge hole, right? Just 2 blocks north of Scout Park. So instead of doing the referral, which is what we should be doing, I just called And I said, hey, Trish, you know, there's this big hole here. And, sure enough, they checked it out and, you know, it was like a den. Like it almost looked like you could crawl in there and like, yeah. Yeah, it was that big, right on an island in the middle of, I call them islands, but right on the median. Just, it's a Sonoma and La Loma on that intersection. So, but it's also like we were talking about very close to where all the gophers are being seen in Scout.
We saw 9 of them run across Old Litchfield Road from the pond.
Really?
Like a month ago, 9. Yeah,
See,
and they
that
were all
scares me,
very
man.
fat and
You know what I
happy.
mean? 9 coyotes, you mean, right? Not
Yeah.
9 gophers?
Yeah, 9 coyotes. Yeah, old ones, young ones, they just went on through. And then 2 nights ago, just like you were saying, it looked like a dog. He just walked right down on the red path like he was going for a walk next to the pond. Just sauntered on, and it was at like 9 o'clock at night. It's not even late, and he's just like out for his little
It was a
little
teenager.
stroll. It was a teenager, exactly. Yeah, big old group of them over on that side too.
So I don't know if it's my place to really say this, but there was a run-in between a neighborhood dog that was on like a fenced property. It was inside of its property, and the dog was killed. So it's certainly come up on our radar for those of us that live on, you know, that side of town. But if there's ways to avoid any more of that sort of interaction, I'm all for it. But the other side of that is too, you know, you really can't tell from a distance. I couldn't tell from a distance until I got closer to if it's actually a coyote or just somebody's dog. And one of the things that the coyotes have kind of learned to do over time is they try and play with other dogs. They'll like try and engage with other dogs, you know what I mean? And almost like if that's how they lure in like a dog that they're gonna attack. And you know, I guess at one point or another, if we're having trouble getting that population kind of under control, maybe it's a future discussion on how do you control the coyotes? What do you do?
Less in the construction destroying their homes.
Yes, there's the other side of it, right?
Yep.
You're moving them all around. They don't have their,
Mhm.
they were here, you
They
know.
were here way first.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think Christoph has a question.
Go ahead, sir.
You're muted.
Still muted.
My gosh, sorry. I think we've gone over what's been reported in the app. If there's themes that you guys see in the future, it'd be nice to understand what the themes are that people are reporting. I try to keep tabs on what's on the app itself that's reported in terms of areas for improvement or maintenance issues and that sort of thing. But if you see some trends that are popping in there, it'd be nice for us to understand what those are.
There was a shed trend there for.
Yeah, just in
for-
general, if there's a chance at a summary report that we could get a look at, and because we're all talking to everyone in our community, so
And, you guys are referring to the Engage Litchfield.
Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, I believe, at least for my end, it sounds like it's within its first month, right? A month.
Mhm.
Yeah, like 2 months, right?
Mhm.
Which is awesome. The fact that we're talking about it here shows that, you know, it's, even though it's in its infant stages of implementation, you know, it's being used.
No, and data tracking is kind of exactly the hope for it to evolve into. So let's, without a promise, let's see if I can look at what, because we only have a month of data maybe to look at, just see what it looks like. Because there wasn't much even from my end, and I was the one getting the majority of them. But to see if we can pair it with a facilities report too, because Chris will be here and that's an aspect of it. So we can put that somewhat together and include that in the report or opportunities, however.
Yeah, we're still trying to pare down the reporting aspect of it, because like, obviously, like you said, there's a plethora of shed things, but that's not
I feel like
necessarily
someone
something
got
that
written up and
RPG
then
needs
went
to
and pointed
focus
out
on, so we
everyone.
wanna
Yeah.
keep our focus
I think there's a caveat to it where we're figuring out the public and internal dynamic. It's an interesting reporting management system that lets you kind of do it all. And it's, you know, I'm used to where it's forward facing to a degree and internal. And then, so I think that's where in the early phases, we're working out the bugs, which is why the data could end up, I can tell you something at the next meeting, but it wouldn't be good data. But after a few collection periods, we'll have some good stuff.
Right on.
It is very useful and my guys have loved it. I've already found it very useful. It helps us be, you know, I had a citizen reach out who just wanted to complain about everything. It was all bad. We're all terrible. And so providing him that tool and able to categorize his complaints with pictures and locations, we were able to address it all in a timely fashion and schedule it. So having that just for those little nuances already, it's going to be a useful tool for sure.
Right on.
I just had a question though on, I've seen some where people are putting in requests or whatever they're called for things they want addressed or whatever in their people's yards, like not city
So
property.
you also submit, I think,
So that code enforcement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like dead trees, I saw somebody with
Yeah.
a bunch of those, and like
Yeah.
different sheds, different things like that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, the everything, and I don't know how, I'm still new, but like the public sees it all, and yeah, I think, I don't know if you guys, the public selects who it goes to, but we have the ability to reassign it as needed too, so. Yeah, and I know some of that is internal, but you will get a final notice, I believe, no matter what, whether it's been closed or acknowledged. something like
Yeah.
that.
And thank you for that. Are there any other questions?
One thing on the drinking fountains, there was a few that I had reported a couple months back, and I think I checked, I happened to be at Scout Park and that one was working now. But there's not currently a drinking fountain at Turtle Park at all. There used to be one, but it's been gone a couple of years, I think, so. That's one definite area of opportunity in summer.
It is a good one. For our own facilities manager, Chris.
Yeah.
He'd love to talk to you guys.
Make a quick comment, and I'm not trying to start up another conversation about it because I know we've had them, but perhaps it's worth just wondering about, well, is it better to have like a water refill or like an actual like old school water fountain? And like we haven't really had a whole lot of discussion here about it. I know that I've talked to different people about it, and most people are walking around with an actual, you know, not a bottle of water, but a, like exactly here, right? So like the
Or
looking
even
to the future, if we're
Yeah.
spending money on, you know,
I
and
think looking at the square is a good idea. You guys seem like you did a really good job of modernizing that part. And I believe there's a fountain that does both.
I think there's,
Yeah, so I've noticed that there isn't a standard detail for any of the amenities. They've all kind of, as the construction.
the one by the tennis courts is the same, I think, where they have the,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? They have-
So that is a great point on the fountains. If we could add some, even one, adding a detail so there's a same, then.
if they need maintenance or if they're getting fixed anyway, you know, maybe in fact, it would just be better to go with the. But I don't want to get too far off topic. I think we're getting into that area. Trish is giving me the look.
You're good.
No, it's perfect note to talk about with Turtle Fountain, and just that if we did go back, a more modern, useful standard that'll be useful in the future, yeah.
Areas of opportunity, you're.
Areas of opportunity.
right on track.
I don't think there's any other questions there, so I think we could move on to our business approval of minutes, presenter Tricia Kramer.
Thank you, Chairman Taddy and Commissioners. The April minutes are in your agenda packet, and I will just defer to you all whether you would like to move to approve or if you have any suggested changes or corrections.
Show me where they are on here again. I think I'm losing my mind. Can't find them.
go, wait, why are you not moving? Here, look at mine.
Is he in the packet?
Yeah, I'm in the packet.
I will move to approve.
Second.
Oh, wait. So, there's page one. There's all the pages. That's the beginning, so you can,
May I?
yeah.
You still need it today.
No, I'm good.
I did you hear Brian and Kristen? I'm not sure if you heard them. You're Brian and Kristen.
You guys have already.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are there any questions?
Use it. You're good. We'll share.
This is the part I want.
Okay.
Are there any questions or comments? Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And so they are approved.
Thank you, commissioners.
Next is yard of the quarter selection, presenter, vice chair, Phillips. Philip. Should there be a S at the end? Should it be
Yeah.
Phillips?
Yeah, should, whatever. I don't
Uh-oh.
care.
Take that up with somebody.
So I am recommending 221 Bahia Lane East for our yard of the quarter winner for this quarter, which I think is the second quarter we're in, right?
Correct.
Here
Yep.
of this year. And I purposely went to this area. And I drove down all of those streets, the Bahias and the Lagunas and the other one, like 3 times. Because I don't know if you guys go up and down those streets, like I ride my bike, so I kind of do. But there's a lot of homes in there that have had beautiful facelifts
Mhm.
since 1960, whatever, when they were built. So I really wanted to bring that in and let those people know that we're looking at them too, because it's never happened before. I mean, and all the times I've ever done Yard of the Quarter, which is almost 20 years, never has anyone in that area been nominated or won.
It's interesting. We could probably get some data on that too, right? How many winners we had from within a street or two of that location.
I'm sure we could, yeah. If you wanted
Right
to.
on.
So that's all I got.
Is that the one with the field turf in front?
Pardon?
21 Bahia Lane, is
Mhm.
that a field turf in front?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Google Maps.
There's a picture.
There's a big.
There's a picture in the packet.
Yeah. I can't do
There's a couple of pictures.
That I need to put in mouse.
The mouth, I
Yeah.
know.
Don't worry about it. At night.
There it is.
There are other nominations. Some were self-nominated. Some were citizen nominated, one self, one citizen. No, keep my mouth shut.
I move that we approve Vice Chair Phillips
Mhm.
nomination.
I'll second.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any questions or comments? All in favor of moving forward with Bahia 221 Bahia Lane East for yard of the quarter, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So let it be.
There were 3 in there, you guys, that were just lovely.
Yeah, it's very cute in there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
compared to, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Who's got next quarter?
pardon, Krista?
Who's got next quarter? Because I did one,
Oh.
you did one, so we've got it, the way we're doing it this way,
Yep.
like giving a commissioner the responsibility of handling a quarter. It's, I don't
I
know.
will take it. Just tell me when I have to have it due.
Right on. If the, Trish, are we able to see or to share the community nominated? I forget if we didn't
Yeah,
have a
we
name
did.
for
It's
it.
on here.
It is on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in the meeting notes.
They're right down here. So this one was self-nominated.
Oh, cool.
The dark picture was community nominated.
Oh,
So I hope.
why'd they do it at night? Just to do it at night? Yeah, that's when they got
I
home.
mean, I
Like,
drove by in the day, but lovely, it's pretty.
Yeah. So right on. So we have our materials. We have some possibilities there. If there's anything we can do to help, please let us know.
Yeah, just when do I have to have it done?
So that would be by August, I think.
Yeah, I think at the August
August.
meeting would be perfect.
If we have it on.
If we have it, if not, I would just bring it to the
If not, I'll
September,
bring it to
right?
September.
Excellent. That's all I need to know, friends. Thank you. Because I will forget.
So then Turtle Park. You can use that.
Okay. Thank you for that. Turtle Park.
So, thank you guys again. I'm gonna be really quick about this one, like I had mentioned a little bit earlier. This is the project that Troy had pushed through. And this was initially driven through safety concerns that the public alluded us to. The slide is currently cracking and in a damaged state. I think that's how the initial report came. Following with a certified playground inspector doing an inspection and giving us the opportunity to still keep the slide open, but with a timeline. Yes, you'll see some of the existing photos here. So the large slide on the left, which I can't control these slide photos, but the large slide there now on the right is the slide that's damaged. So we did have a certified playground inspector let us know that it can remain open for now. But with the upcoming summer, the heat, it will be inevitable. Playground needs to go. Luckily, I had the opportunity to inherit some groundwork that Troy put in the works, which was securing the building community connections playground grant. So we have already received a grant to build this structure. It's in the form of $17,000. But the stipulations for the grant is that we do have a deadline for order. So August 15th is our deadline for ordering the play equipment, and we have to have the equipment delivered here by December 15th. So those are just some of the grant stipulations that we have in receiving this money to help us fund this playground. So I've worked with Troy and I've worked with Monty, who's from Miracle Play here. He's put together these renderings and this PowerPoint as well for us. But what you can see in front of us is essentially what the playground will look like structurally. We've gone through and done an initial pre-vet of the playground and just eliminating additional structures for cost and unnecessary necessities. But other than that, the playground is completely construction file ready. We could pull the plug. We can start construction on this tomorrow if we had the funding in the. The one selection that we'd like to try to get from the committee would be coloring. And I think that was the only item. And toppers. So. Those there.
Umbrella.
Oh, just those little.
So each of what you guys have, yeah, they're in printout. You'll have some design highlights, just a quick playground overview will be the first couple bullet points and some of its highlighted features, but towards the bottom, our city highlighted features. The timing of this is the only thing that we do have to consider, but we do have the two things in here. So the toppers. So you guys have the color packet in front of you. These toppers are optional. They can be taken off and on. There's nothing but aesthetic to them, and same as well as their color. So the packets will have some of your features as well as your color options. And if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to do my best and try and answer them. I did do my best to try and have the playground company representative here tonight for any additional questions. It is graduation season, so he wasn't able to attend, but he's happy to be available for me first thing to get any additional questioning available if I'm not able.
I feel like we just put in that.
Mhm.
playground.
So you did one Is it
Couple
Camelback?
years back was newer.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
so.
But for turtle, it wasn't that long, yeah.
Turtle.
That was the
Canopy was
shade
new.
structure.
That was the point that I was gonna make. You guys just went and did the shade structures everywhere and redid them. But Turtle had an old existing play structure in effort to put this play structure in. We now have a brand new shade canopy to get twice the life out of this play structure versus the one that was there already.
Isn't it only like, I feel like I guess it is the older one now.
At least 10
But
years old.
I was just gonna say, I feel like it might be closer
This
to 10 now.
design for this playground is much bigger than what's current.
What's the lifetime?
Not much.
What's the lifetime of a play structure ballpark?
I think it's around 15 to 20 years with regular preventative maintenance or regular ongoing maintenance. Not the surface. The surface, depending on what it is, it's like a year, 2 years at a time.
So like the shade canopy, did the toppers do anything for us?
Oh, the.
No,
shade
because as you can actually see now in this rendering, they're purely aesthetic, something for the kids to try to vandalize and jump on. I don't remember, there is line item pricing, and I don't remember if there was a cost associated to them, but we did elect that if there was, it would be our suggestion.
You said we have a grant, how much is this gonna cost us above and beyond the grant?
Quite a bit. I think that was.
I think we had. I think we listed it in your communication. Let's.
I have it if.
Uh, 169, 198.47 is what the estimate is at with installation and including the grant funding.
So if we don't have the toppers, then you just have poles sticking up in the air?
Mhm.
Well, I assume it'd be capped off slower if the toppers weren't there.
Right, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, they are rounded, and I'm not sure on the official height, there's a regulation, but yeah, from where the mounted structure is on the pole, that distance that it has to have regulated will just be a curved rounded piece like you'd see in other playgrounds.
Okay.
I guess my question on the price was just, like versus replacing the slide versus putting in $170,000. I could have sworn it had that not that long, but.
Yeah, look at it tomorrow on the light. The patina for the plastic may help you maybe change it. At least looking good, get Camelback when I look at them, it noticeably is different, yeah.
It won't last because it had no shade until last year.
It would last steel slides. Back in the day, those don't ever crack.
And you just shade one of those and they're good to go. We did find out, because that was our initial question, was what would just the cost of the slide be to look at it? And because of the mounting of the actual structure and how high it is and the poles grounding it sounded like we started to get into I'm just throwing a number out there, but it was somewhere around like a $30,000 number, which got us into asking this question, like, okay, well, if we could get some help in a fund and we just have a new play structure or a shade structure, it kind of was all rolling towards, it might be the right timing. So these were the numbers that we came up with. We did in the renderings. So you'll see this 3 set of play swings. This would be something that would be new in an addition. The playground structure would remain kind of exactly where it is. And then you'll notice over on the right-hand side, oh no, don't do this. So this is the sliding one. So there is the existing swing structure. You can kind of see it in the background. It's a 2-set swing set. That would go down to a 1-set swing set to give more room over the play area. And then we'll add these 3 sets of the swings out here as a new addition. As well as, I believe it was coming to us in the slideshow now, there will be a new turtle. So there's an existing turtle which will remain, and a new turtle will be added. That's
2, right?
yeah, yep, just like yeah, there you go.
Is it gonna be younger friendly? Cause like Stag Park is not, I think that's like what, 5 and above or something. So it kind of lost a park for all the tiny ones on that side. And so Turtle would be the next closest one for anybody living by the pond, like over off, say Desert, over there. Cause the little ones cannot play at Stag. Like they just can't. I know they do, but they get hurt every single time. So I'm just curious, like age wise, what that one's gonna look like.
So yeah, I was trying to go through the design because I'm a little, this wasn't my project and I'm not sure what they were asking for when coming up with the concepts. What I can see is that it looks like there's a blend of the bigger kids, the little kids in the top version of the structure, and they've incorporated the younger kids.
The younger side,
age,
okay.
Yeah.
That's what Stag used to be, but it's not anymore.
And that's a more modern design. You can kind of see it under the big twisted slide where there's some like seated areas, walking and sensory stuff, that kind of stuff. So that I'm assuming was incorporated into it, but I'm not sure on the exact age range for what it was intended.
Yeah, to me, it looks, I mean, it's different than what's there, but it's similar in that there's a big slide at one end and there's a small slide at the other side, and it looks like it would accommodate
dual.
multiple age ranges, yeah.
And will they be able to reach the swings?
Yeah, the swing detail, you
So-
can see we have a few different options. It's in the pricing breakdown. But yeah, they have the kids, the toddler,
Yeah.
I don't know what the rockers, I guess you'd call them. And then they have the toddler swings as well as the kids, just the regular swing. Yeah.
I like the design.
Yeah,
As far as your question about the color, I think the Marsh Madness.
I
I
agree.
think that's like, that fits the city, that fits the turtles. The other ones are pretty bright.
Yeah,
And not carnival, please.
what's that?
Not carnival.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
And it,
You
I
have a
also just,
question too, right?
I do have a question as to why you're keeping one swing all by itself.
No, sorry, it's a pair.
Oh, it's a pair.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to
Okay, I was
call
like,
it
is that
pairs.
the
Yeah.
timeout swing?
Yeah, no, the other one broke and we just cannot afford it.
That's exactly what it is.
We're making cuts. No, yeah, so it'll be a set of 2 and then
The
3 sets, so
Gotcha.
6.
Okay,
Yeah,
that makes a
total of
lot
8.
more sense.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I also like the Marsh Madness color because it's
Turtle.
it's
'Cause it's
similar,
turtle,
similar
right?
to what's there today. It's kind of a dark green and brown. The canopy is a dark green already, so I think
The
that
Philadelphia Eagles.
I
And
think
right
that
off the
goes
bat,
well.
yeah, it's very strong. It's the championship color. What it is, championship color.
And I'd be in favor of not doing the toppers. I don't think there's a real benefit. It's, I mean, there's already shades, so I don't think it adds a lot aesthetically.
So most rate could be.
Yeah.
Is the price high enough that we would want to see some alternative pricing on other,
Or do you know if that was part of the original
is
process?
there time? Are we too far in the process?
Sees that when we came into securing the grant and in the timeline that we're looking to get, once we figured out that there was a need for repair and then getting the grant and then the timeline for the grant. So I think, I'm not sure, but I'm almost positive no, that there hasn't been alternative pricing. I know we did have another company that wasn't this company was the one who came out and did the evaluation of the playground. But as far as other pricing, I'm not sure. I do know the timeline is what has kept us from exploring that further, yeah. And that's just given that, I think it was, like I said, yeah, we have till August 15th.
Got a few questions. The slide that's damaged the side, how many additional years do you think the existing playground has in it?
Without being a professional to give that recommendation, what it sounds like when we had our certified playground inspector out, that the playground itself was in good condition. It was the slide, but in order for us to, another consideration, sorry, now that I'm thinking about it, the slide had a timeline. So for us to order the slide, I believe had a 4 to 6 month wait. Because they have to custom make the slide. There's not a slide sitting available. So the slide's going to get constructed and then delivered. And we were given a 4 to 6 month timeline, which from what our inspector saw, we didn't have that long before the slide needed to be fixed and we'd have to close it down. So I think we had the question of, do we want to leave the slide closed for months at a time or weeks at a time potentially, or do we want to look at fixing the overall and the bigger problem? Because it is an out-of-date structure. And even our inspector had made note to us that current updated modern standards wouldn't deem some of those playground features safe, or wouldn't have been built currently in those conditions. The playground itself is also missing some of its amenities, some of the sensory items or so that was another thing that we looked at, was just the cost of refurbishing and replacing those. And again, we kind of started getting into with time and cost when we were kind of getting into this. Let's just see what the new playground would look like.
Okay, and I was asking is maybe there's alternative to put a panel there where the slide is for the time being until we get like the full value of having put in this playground structure. I don't know if that's something that we could consider as well. If that's not viable, then my question would be about this vendor. I think it's a different vendor that we've had in the past. Are they common in the valley? Do they have, what's their warranty on UV degradation? Is it something that like we could see that they have structures out there that are lasting 10 years?
No, that's a great question. Myself personally, I have not worked with this company. I do know they are somewhat reputable in terms of this is a company that Troy sought out and that he had done prior work with back in his experience with City of Mesa, City of Queen Creek. And I'm not sure if that's the limit of his experience working with them. But I do know there was an existing relationship and he had a lot of confidence. When I inherited this and got my hand in the mix, the introductions with this company and their representative, it's very positive, very responsive, very, anything I've asked for, these presentations were all put together for them. They were kind enough to do all of the highlights for the playground for me to make sure it was easy and digestible for you guys. So they've been really great to work with. As far as the quality and the warranty items, I don't have them on me in front of me, but they are within the scope, within the quote that we received for this.
Yeah, the warranty would be interesting to understand, just because if the other structure has many years in it, that to me, replacing it early, if we could block off the slide, because it's been a minute since I've been at that playground, but I think it has two slides near the top, and one of them is severely damaged, and the other one's, I think, okay. If there's an option to block that off, and then I don't want to say not spend the money because we do want nice playgrounds, but if we wanted a certain return on the investment of the original playground and we can get 2 to 3 more years out of that investment, it behooves us to consider that.
Except you're losing one of the major attractions for the kids. The slide.
Yeah, I think there's another slide at the top there. Or am I mistaken?
There's one,
Yeah.
there's one tall one at the end and then there's a double one that's like
Yeah.
halfway up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, at some point we were told that the playgrounds are on a cycle of being replaced and Turtle Park is up.
Yeah.
I did hear
If
that.
it's
Yeah.
gonna be-
I know that there's not necessarily a funding source set aside for that specifically,
Yeah.
but that was what I was under the impression that's what
Yeah,
started.
kind of rotate
It's the
over.
old
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, no, I
And
like
so
this,
here, I'm
and I'd
sorry,
love
I
to
was
have
trying
it. I just want to be, be as responsible as we can with the funds that we have.
Yeah,
Oh, there's a perfect picture. That one right there. Oh, it's gone now.
No, it's
Yeah,
automatic. I can't.
You
Yeah.
can see the two. There's 3 slides. There's a baby one, like I'd say a 2/3 one, and then the full
Yeah.
one. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think more so is
There
making
you
sure
go.
we have a maintenance plan on this to make sure that we get the 15 years going forward. Like I know in the village, the HOA went through and repainted all of the playgrounds and they look like new again.
And with
the
that,
company out that did it,
uh-huh.
and there's no shade structure on those. They're just out in the sun since probably like 2010. And they look like new again. So if we have, I don't know if we have a system like that or.
That's implementation that's in the works. Tomorrow, I have 2
Right.
individuals on my crew that are taking their certified playground inspection test. So hopefully we'll have 2 certified playground inspectors on staff. That would be the start of what we would be hoping to introduce as a preventative maintenance program for them. Currently, the guys are, we just had somebody report one of the amenities out. I think it's Scout Playground. We fixed it currently. 24 hours turnaround for some of this stuff. So the little stuff the guys are already currently looking after, it's the parts that we're having a hard time or long lead time for. Those are the things that have been our gap. With this one, just the price, I know the sticker value can get people. It is minus $17,000 of what would be considered the city's money as well for that final price of the $169, given that the grant money is going towards it. So I don't know
in
That
terms of
sure helps.
what the city pays for stuff, it doesn't seem crazy to me.
Right.
Especially for the life of the investment.
Yeah.
And the use, I mean, it's not like it won't be used, it's
Right.
being used every day.
It's a busy
So-
park.
And we kind of have to keep up a little bit with the Joneses. I mean, Surprise has an amazing park, Goodyear has beautiful new parks. Friendship Park got redone, there's, so, I mean.
I mean, I don't know if we have the date, but I know it's been at least 10 years because I live in that neighborhood and I've been there for 10 years and it was there as long as I have.
Yeah.
So we might have had it for 15. I don't know what the number is, but it's been more than 10, definitely.
Yeah, in addressing the question of if we've gotten the lifespan out of it, that would be the first thing is even establishing, I'm not sure when it was
Yeah.
installed, so it may have could have already lived out its lifespan.
And also, rid of those stone turtles within 10 years, like the old stone turtles.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought they did the playground at the same time.
That playground's been there longer than 10 years.
I'm sure of that.
There's still a stone turtle out there.
Those aren't the old stone turtles.
The original, okay.
Yeah, the originals are.
These are like hard plastic ones. Yeah.
Where are they?
They're in hiding.
They're in
They're
hiding.
stored still somewhere, aren't they?
No.
But they might have plans.
But I also want to point out when I saw this was on the agenda, I walked over there today and the two middle slides, they're supposed to be green and they're sun faded and white now. So I think they're on the verge of breaking as well. So
That's the hard part. Some of the old design and where the new shade canopy was installed don't exactly help the old shade structure get any protection, because that slide that you're talking about is
white and
just
sun
fully eastern facing sun every
Yeah.
morning, yeah. So some of that design that they did they incorporated the existing shade structure so that it made sense for the life of the playground as well.
Okay, I was gonna ask that.
Did you say that we'd add another turtle or replace the turtle that's there?
Bad.
What's wrong with that?
There's one there and they have.
There was a retired turtle, was I think what they were saying.
One of
They used to be stone.
One of the new ones broke.
Huge
Candy's
ones.
I think it's an important part of the park.
Yeah, so you can see it here. It's green. Oh, there it goes again.
They
Yeah, they're
replaced the
just
old.
gonna give them.
Oh, the green one, yeah, there he is again. That guy's gonna stay, and then
They'll have
they
a friend.
That's right.
have in one of these concept. It was the first one. So yeah, they had the turtle in there
In our
too.
packet. Yep.
Yeah, sorry, it's in your
It's in our
packet.
printout.
I forgot.
Yes, I see I just wanted to.
So yeah, a new one
That's it,
and
okay.
an old one. We'll keep that one as well. Yeah, and I'm not sure it is
I like
initially.
it.
We can look to get it painted.
It
We
isn't
were
too
talking
bad.
about doing the sports balls the other day. It's the same kind of concept, so.
I don't
If
think
it
that
needs a
would look the
refurbishing,
same,
we can
but
look
it
at
could be refurbished.
Yeah. Oh, there's our new turtle.
Get an art class out there or something.
School project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're talking. From what it sounds like too, maybe moving forward, there's some interest from at least this commission that like, hey, let's track when we purchase the major. And those of us who've been around for a while, I know that we kind of remember, okay, here's when we talked about this, but having that like in a file somewhere would probably be helpful too.
I think something I could do for my new playground inspectors, could do just an initial audit of the playgrounds, and we could do equip just what's working and not, but just to see when, like, let's get it, how old is it?
Right.
Because
Right on.
That's
Yeah.
a portion of it, so.
And that forecasting element, right? Like, okay, we know this
The
was done
replacement
this
plan
time,
kind of
when-
comes, yeah, right
Yeah.
after it, exactly, yeah.
Are there any other questions?
So
Are you
They're-
going with March Madness?
they're looking for some feedback from us. So does everybody agree does anyone feel strongly about the tree toppers? I don't think they're needed, but does anybody agree?
No.
Probably under
No,
canopy,
not at all.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, colors, I think, is something.
I would vote for something a little more lively, maybe skyscraper, because I know you wouldn't do carnival, but just something just a little bit more lively. And I know we've had this discussion before that it's got to blend in and everything, but I mean, there's orange actually, at
I thought that we had
Right.
selected a color palette for the whole city to abide by that included parks, like as part of like
I
this
don't know,
Denny's
but-
dinner, we had decided
I
on
mean, Stag Park's pretty
certain
lively.
colors, and then we're gonna stick with those, and I don't
I don't
remember
know.
what those colors were.
I think that,
Jag is like our Litchfield orange, like in the.
yeah,
In like.
I like the
orange part of our.
Yeah.
It's fine for Stags Park.
you're grown up.
I like the March Madness for putting in a new structure, like the mutedness of it.
It blends well with the park.
Turtles.
Yeah, it's
Turtles live in the
Silver
marsh.
Park, it makes sense to be.
And the
The
sunshade's like a dark green, right? So
color.
goes with that.
And
And the slide, if it does get sun bleached, is already white.
Hey, listen, I say go Eagles.
Go. So March is for the turtles, and then Carnival for the next one. We'll really
Yeah.
make a.
Cardinal one over by their house.
that's by my house.
Our house up here. Within 100 yards of each other.
I concur with March Madness. I think it goes well with what we've got going on in that park. Tadpole's a distant second, but also would work well.
Oh, what is the Orbit seat spinner? I saw it said new Orbit seat spinner.
Oh, that's probably like the one at the Square Park.
So I believe, yeah, I think it's in the bottom of the rendering. It's in there. I think it's the pole, the seat that just spins in the space by itself.
Oh, okay.
They love that.
Was there any other feedback that you needed?
No, and we're open to feedback. You know, obviously, we tried to cut the fat, and we wanted to obviously not waste our time and put something that was going to be well received together. But we're open to suggestions, requests. If there's anything that you guys see in there it's missing, or that you just can't stand that it has, we're absolutely able. Everything's line item priced, so you know, just tell us what needs to be added or not, and we can just essentially add it onto the quote.
That seat is just sitting out there on its own. Like it,
It's hard to
in the
tell.
rendering I think it's this thing on the
Yeah,
bottom.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
It
think.
feels like it's put there because there's nothing there, but I would say that it's okay to have some open space at the playground.
I think the space looks a lot more open in the rendering. When you're there
Okay.
at the park, that north edge is kind of, there's almost a tree really right here. So it's kind of a little closer to that circular pad, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah, however it came out in the rendering and like the angle, it's almost cut out of the screen, like the
Mhm.
park's got a whole other mile to it or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna trust your judgment on that.
Actually, sorry,
I'd
with
ask
that,
that,
now that
something to
I'm
consider.
thinking about it, the detail for the plans are here. Are you able to scroll down and see? Sorry.
I mean, those do need a little space around them though, because the kids run.
Yeah, there's your seat out in no man's land there in the bottom left.
Yeah.
But it's not quite as no man's land in the actual bill.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can see on the right-hand side there, where it had the two existing swing sets, we
Uh-huh.
elected to just make it, instead of two sets, just one set because of the crowding with the playground, and we didn't want any jumping or any kind of injuries back and forth from those structures.
So is there any action that we need here, or are we just verbally
Yeah.
saying, hey, we'll recommend that you move forward with
Recommendations we've said.
Was the color we were asked?
Color, any adds or subtracts, and then, approval for council to go.
So subtract toppers.
Subtract toppers, if I have that one.
I don't know if there's any other location for that chair, but I would say if there is, then it might make sense to put it somewhere.
We can take it out. It's also
I mean, I don't mind having it. I'm just,
just
it
relocate.
feels like it was put there to fill that space. And then I don't know that you need to fill this space, you know, like
Okay.
it's not bad to have some open space there. And to, I don't know, to just have this big open space with the pole sticking out. It takes away from having the open space, but I know you need
But,
like a.
I mean, the
full
space is
so-
not that big. You know, the space that's open there is not huge.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a big
Yeah.
space.
I mean, I don't know where else it would go. I like it. I like having it. Just.
No, yeah, my handout there definitely makes it look like there's more options. I don't know. I think it would be or we sub it, it could be a singular. I think they'd like the spring, the rocker or something like that. We could look at what a different option is. I think like you're saying, it could be crowded. Yeah. So that's one I have, at least I can explore if there's another option for it. And if, however you guys have a preference for it. Add or subtract.
I'm not too worried about it either way. Storming.
And you're sort of recognizing though that it's an awkward piece of equipment just kind of sitting there, right? Is what your thought is.
Yeah.
And I think that we would all agree with you.
Mhm.
Based on what I'm hearing.
It's an easy price savings to just eliminate it. So if that's anybody's hang up, for sure, yeah.
What is it?
It's just they spin.
Yeah, so we get what it is.
There's
It's like,
one,
You just
Have you been-
spin.
Like a bar chair for kids, yeah.
there's one there. The kids love those things.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And
Yeah,
it's
that one
off-
doesn't have a ton of space around it though.
No, but it is off on that one end because the kids run around and they jump
Yeah.
off, so it does need space around it
Mhm.
so that they're not crashing into somebody swinging, or coming down out of a slide.
They get kind of flung off.
Yeah, and they,
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
you know how you used to
Okay.
do that with the roundabout?
We can check and see if there's maybe a fall zone and
So I'm not
for
even
that.
seeing, that's not it
Also.
in the picture. That's just the top.
Yeah, you're not really getting a good.
Yeah.
There.
Okay.
I don't know that any of that.
I don't know.
And this space really isn't proportional
No.
no.
to
I'm not even
the,
looking at the
to
actual
the space in
but
real
there's
life. You know, yeah.
Which fish square, that makes sense. What is this?
This isn't ours. This is.
Oh, my.
This is one they built.
So this came from Miracle Playground, so they have some of their own built-in advertising in there.
Yeah. So I was kind of looking through to see our spinning chair. So I thought they did each structure at the end. So I did actually get a more in-depth presentation for this structure. The presentation that they put together for us tonight was just a little more surface level. But now you guys are asking all the right questions. So that's a bigger version.
Mhm.
Bench snapper.
They have them at Friendship Park in good.
Orbit swing, right? Isn't that what we're looking for?
Oh, it's
Very
just
bottom.
that.
Yeah. they're just
Orbit
little
seat
tiny
spinner.
inches.
Yep. So it's slightly tilted and then, yeah, it just spins.
Okay,
Just a solo merry-go-round.
yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
I think it's fine over there.
It's essentially probably the most that you could put in that space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Merry-go-round, instead of metal there.
Right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
No, you just have one.
Every
hit off on it.
generation needs something to
Merry-go-round
watch.
in the corner of the park.
Your biggest fight is gonna be, it's my turn.
There's nothing else around there.
Overall, I think I like the layout as it's shown. There's nothing else I see that needs to be removed personally.
Do we need to vote on Marsh, whatever?
I don't think so. I think we could just verbally, right, say,
think-
here's our
I think it'd be
recommendation.
good if you guys vote and then we can pass this on in June to council. So essentially, if you move to recommend that the purchase of the structure as is, with the exception of removing those toppers and in the Marsh Madness color scheme.
Mm.
And then I think you guys are coming to an agreement on keeping that orbit as is.
Keep the orbit chair, it sounds like.
Sure.
Okay, so now are there any questions? Comments? So now we need a motion.
Motion to recommend the play structure as shown, minus the toppers in the March Madness color scheme.
I'll second.
Perfect.
Any comments? Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So let it be. The recommendation will go over to city council.
Kevin will push that on in June, and from there we'll see if council's in agreement.
Kevin, we'd love to see the audit of the playgrounds and like what years they were installed and stuff like that when you do have that.
Sure, let me see if I can get that together by June.
No rush.
But yeah, if not, I'll look to see if it's something we can add just in our regular report, in that next section.
I believe we asked your predecessor like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Well,
We're still waiting to hear back. The excuse is running out if I get a couple inspectors tomorrow, so then you can really.
Okay.
I think just like to understand everything that we
Mhm.
have,
I agree.
helpful.
Commissioners report on current events. This is the time commissioners may present a brief summary on current events. The commission may not propose, discuss, deliberate, or take any legal action on the information presented pursuant to ARS 38-431.02. Okay. Commissioner Schwartz.
Lately just been enjoying the farmer's market, every other weekend or so, so.
Holy cow, has it grown too, huh?
It's surprising considering that there's another one
Right up the
a
road.
mile and a half south of
Yeah.
us.
They're competing for signs now. Did you see that? There's like a sign fight going
Mhm.
on. It's great.
Yeah.
Fall election season.
Commissioner Giordano?
I don't really have much. Same with the farmer's market. Everything's looking really good. That's it. Boring. That's
Bring the
good.
bait.
I think I'm talking behind it. Nothing to report.
Shouldn't say that, no.
Yeah.
Keep it on your phone.
Thank you.
Commissioner Colbreth?
Yeah, I think the city looks really good right now. So you're doing a good job so far.
Pass on the kudos to the guys.
And yeah, I think just to go back on what we said earlier, I think the Engage LP app is working out really well. I've personally submitted a couple things the last week or so. A sprinkler head the other day was loose, like shooting a geyser in the air, and I saw it at night when I was going out, and I think I got a notice that it was correct about like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And it had the location and a picture, it was
Yeah.
great.
And then, yeah, it was me that reported the amenity at the Scout Park.
Okay.
And that was the same thing. I think I reported on a Sunday, and by Monday at noon, it was fixed. There's that noise thing. My daughter plays with it. She said it'd been out for a while, so I was like, well, let's report it. And then, yeah, so it's good to see that app working, and the city's seems very responsive on it. So I think it's a success so far.
Right on. Commissioner Gertz?
Not much we haven't discussed. I'll just say, I'm very excited, Superintendent Hamilton, to have you on board. Hopefully my questions are received in the a vote of confidence that I think you have answers to all these questions sort of way, but I'm really looking forward to working with you.
Right on, man.
Awesome. No, yeah, it's great to be here. This was a great first experience for me. So if they're all going to be like this, then yeah, keep the questions rolling. I guess.
A lot of people say this commission is probably one of the
Fine.
finest in Litchfield Park, is what a lot of people say.
Everybody.
I didn't make
Everybody.
that up. I mean,
Well, Rob Forum does.
what we hear. So,
I would just like to second what Brian said about Engage LP. I used it and got a really fast response from Randy that kind of half I liked and half I didn't. I want speed bumps on Villanueva on the blind curve, but we're working on it. So I've tried to encourage people, to look at it, to use it, because I think it can be, or hopefully will be, a very useful tool for all of us.
I want to say something about that too. Just so incredible, the feedback loop and how quickly it
Yeah.
seems to be developing, right? Like we're in the trial phase of it. So everything that we're seeing is brand new. And it's really impressive that like not just the cities like kind of embracing it. And yeah, I mean, you're gonna get the, hey, check this shed out, or not shed, I said, SH. Yeah, as I said, I heard it, and I was like, shed. But we're gonna get those right. And you know, we're just gonna have to keep like staying diligent on answering. It sounds like everything is going super well with it from everything that I'm hearing. But again, and back to like kind of our side of town, thank you for paying attention to the stuff that we're putting out there in terms of the gophers and the you know, the our pests, so to speak, you know, the coyotes, things like that. And other than that, everything seems to be going really well in the city. The city looks great. And I said it a second ago, the farmer's market, how quickly, I feel like it was just yesterday, right? We just started the farmers, and now it's like it goes all the way out to the other side of the park now, where it sits. So what a success there. So thank you for setting that up too. And that's all. Topics for referral to city council. So we're referring that they're going to be deciding on the new park structure that we have. Okay, so we don't have to do anything else regarding that. Just state it.
And then yard of order, right?
And then Yard of the Quarter 2, sending that over as well.
Right.
Other than that, we're all done? Okay, other than that, we are adjourned, everybody.